Once upon a time, back when Siddhartha was walking amongst us, there was a king. He was the ruler of a small but prosperous kingdom. That kingdom was surrounded by many warring neighbors, but never was affected by any of their conflicts, so that the king's subjects attributed their peaceful life to his wisdom and diplomatic abilities. But he knew better. He had an old trusted advisor who never left his side. This advisor had the true wisdom. He was the true leader, and he never left the king's side. There only was this one thing about him that made the king upset sometimes. He would always say, "Whatever life brings to you is because God wants something better for you." And so one day, the king called for one of his serving girls, and as usual, he asked her to cure his royal hands, as he was quite vain and always wanted to look impeccable. But on this particular day, there was a tempest outside, and while she was taking care of the king's fingernails, a mighty thunder shook the palace and scared her so much that she was jolted out of the chair, and with her one of the king's fingertips, cut off by the sharp scissors. Blinded by rage, he shouted, "To the dungeon with her!" And while the guards were carrying away the whimpering girl, he heard his advisor's usual solemn voice. "Whatever life brings to you is because God wants something better for you." As he was so fed up this time, he couldn't bear it any longer, and in his wrath, he had his advisor thrown into the dungeon together with the poor girl. The next day, to soothe his anger, he rode out alone into the forest, and he rode and rode, until he suddenly noticed that he wasn't alone anymore. He was surrounded. The scary-looking men pulled him down off his horse, and to his astonishment, they were carrying him away. "Don't you know who I am? I am the king," he shouted. But they were worshippers of Kali, and didn't care about his social status at all. They only needed a sacrifice for their goddess. Desperately he cried while they were stripping him from his royal garments to prepare him for the ceremony. But then one of them noticed his missing fingertip, and all of a sudden they all started to shout and to throw dirt at him, since his imperfection would have meant an insult to their cruel mistress. So they chased him away, dirty and terrorized as he was, but alive. When he finally reached his palace, his initial anger was all but vanished, and he immediately gave the order to free the serving girl and his advisor. "You were right again, my dear friend," he spoke to him as they were both relaxing in a basin of scented water. "But now explain me one thing. How has it been better for you to pass a night and day down in the dungeon?" he asked with a perky smile. His trusted companion responded with his usual calmness. "You see, my king, if you hadn't thrown me into the dungeon, I would have been with you today when you were ambushed by the worshippers of Kali. And I have no missing fingertips. You see, in life, in your life, don't get too angry or too mad if sometimes some things don't go your way, and sometimes what you first think as a curse is actually a blessing. Maybe you won't see it straight away, but after some days, months, or even years, you will understand that the only way for you to be at the point where you are right now is to have had those setbacks and to struggle. So don't curse a day before the sun goes down, because sometimes we don't see the bigger picture. So trust in the universe, because it will take care of you. This is Dare to Do Motivation Stories. Thanks for watching. Stay safe and stay blessed.